from Sydney, Australia. First pitch he sees from Condren is a strike, inner half of the plate near the knees, 0-1. Bazana's batting .461 this season. Blistering hot, and believe it or not, that's still not even top 10 nationally. He ranks 12th in batting average on the season. Breaking ball off the plate, away from the left-handed bat, 1-1.
I mean, 460, it's ridiculous. I mean, you have to get a hit every other at-bat. It's pretty tough.
He's got 199 career hits. He's looking for 200 today. Fouls off that pitch into the netting behind home plate. 1-2's the count. Bazana making his 20th start on the year. 35 hits leads this ball club to go along with his 8 home runs that he already has this year. Spoils that outside pitch from Condren, 1-2. Condren, just a sophomore from Los Osos, California. Went to Morro Bay High School. Had a couple outings last year for Portland. The 1-2, high fly ball. That ball was absolutely mashed by Bazana, and hit number 200 is a home run.
Elevated baseball and probably the most special player in the country, and he hit it a long ways, man.
That's his 26th career home run, 9th home run of the season, and the first batter of the day puts Oregon State on the scoreboard. They're up 1-0.
Yeah, to be honest with you, he's almost like a video game player. I mean, take a look at this pitch. It's up. And one thing about the Oregon State Beavers, they're not going to miss mistake pitches tonight. I mean, they're Pac-12 ranked second. They're not going to miss pitches.
Now, you thought 461 was impressive. How about 460 for Micah McDowell, who's up at the plate now? Takes an inside pitch, flares out in the left, and Cooney will take it on the hop. One pitch and a single for McDowell. He's on first, nobody out. So Bazana and McDowell just fighting for the best batting average on the team. Both of them starting out with a hit today. Mason Guerra, the first baseman for Oregon State, comes to the plate. Guerra Jr. from Beaverton, Oregon, went to Westview High School. Inside pitch, softly hit out in the left field. Cooney will make the catch on the fly. And right now, you're just looking at Oregon State. They're jumping early on Condren.
Yeah, I mean, they're just ambushing pitches, you know. Got an opportunity to hear Coach Gibson this winter speak in the coaches clinic, which you were the voice of the coaches.
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing it.
And Coach Gibson said the Beavers are taking a lot more pitches this year than they generally do, but they're really going on pitches in areas that they like. And obviously, Morgan's trying to fill the strike zone because getting his opportunity, you want to start bats, and they're not missing them. So
that's putting it lightly. As Jacob Craig, the designated hitter, comes to the plate. Craig takes a strike for the first pitch. It's 0-1.
Yeah, and it's not a bad approach when you're facing a guy that is in the strike zone and is known to be in the strike zone, to go ahead and just attack and become an ambush guy. And then what has to happen is the pitcher on the mound's got to do some things. Maybe you got to throw a white line fastball. Maybe he's got to start with a breaking ball or start with a changeup. But there's no doubt that the Beavers are in ambush mode tonight.
The 0-1 after the throw over to first to keep an eye on McDowell. McDowell just 1 for 2 on stolen bases this season. Off speed, just missing out of the zone, 1-1. Craig, the sophomore from Antioch, California. He's batting .333 in the early portion of the season, making his 13th start. 14 hits, 17 RBI on the season. Of those 14 hits, 4 of them are for home runs. Second strike here, it's 1-2. The sophomore went both ways last year. Made 5 appearances on the mound, while also appearing in 8 games out in the field. 6 hits, 11 RBI, but he has certainly stepped up his production this season. Check swing, and it's a strikeout. 2 gone now for Oregon State as Dallas Macias, the starting left fielder, comes to the plate.
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm sitting here thinking about home runs to the pull that we've seen. You know, here's another look at the punch out. Just a really good executed pitch. we saw Trace Tamaro hit some big time balls out there. We saw Sam Brown, but years ago when the Pilots had dirt here, there was a guy that went to Western Oregon that played here in the summer, and his name is Andrew Reed, and I watched Andrew Reed hit a bomb that looked about as far as Bazana's. It'd be really interesting to get the analytics on that home run, but I have a feeling that it went pretty far.
Macias batting .309 on the year, steps to the plate for the first time today. Slider stayed high, 1-1. Macias, a sophomore from Parker, Colorado. Switch hitter for the Beavers. Another throw over to first. Tag applied, runner back safely. A couple years ago, he was Colorado's Gatorade Player of the Year as a senior, hitting .522 with 48 hits in only 28 games. The 1-1. Crushes one into right field, but it's right at Scavato. Barely had to move for that one. So after the leadoff home run and a single, it's 3 straight outs for Condren on the mound, and the damage against him in the limited amount of innings that he's thrown. As Christian Cooney steps to the plate to lead things off for the Portland Pilots. First pitch strike to start out 0-1. Cooney leads things off for the Pilots, followed by Jake Holcroft and Brady Bean. Zach Tolia will be batting cleanup. Jonas Salk bats 5th. Ben Pataxa will be batting 6th as Cooney takes strike 2 inside part of the plate at the knees. Riley McCarthy bats 7th. He's behind the plate. Scavato, who made the final out in the top of that first inning, he'll be batting 8th. And then Jack Thompson, the Division III transfer from Lewis and Clark, will be rounding out the bottom of the lineup. The 0-2 to Cooney, chases the low pitch. Ground ball over to short. Trotsky up, high throw, and just in time to beat the quick feet of Cooney. One away.
Yeah, it's nice to see Cooney in the lineup almost every day. You know, the last couple of years he's had some injuries, and he's a very good athlete, and it's nice to see him in all the time.
A big bat for Portland, too, last year. Hit pretty well. Power bat. Jake Holcroft, the hit king of the Willamette. Fouls it off into the netting. 0-1 start off this at-bat. See the right side of the infield. Travis Bazana playing in shallow right field right now. Guerra playing behind the bag at first. 0-1. Breaking ball. Holcroft able to foul it off. We sort of saw this action on Sunday against Maryland for Portland, but swinging at some early pitches, trying to get ahead of the pitcher on the mound. Minimal success in the first couple at bats as Holcroft sends this down the line and probably off the Pianovi hitting facility. Back to the 0-2.
Yeah, I was going to say that the ball's in the strike zone, so let's go ahead and swing at it just like the Beavers. I mean, he's pounding the strike zone, and no sense in standing around watching.
Down to the dirt, it's 1-2. Now, for guys who are normally in the bullpen come out and start these midweek games, you're talking about them attacking the strike zone over and over again. The 1-2, no chase from Holcroft, makes it 2-2. Them going into the strike zone, is it because they don't have enough confidence in their pitches to induce swings and misses out of the zone?
No, actually, so, I mean, this young man, if he comes out of the bullpen, a lot of times he's coming out to not get contact. Guy on second, guy on third, left-hander. We want to throw some pitches and have swing and miss. Well, this young man's starting the game. There's no runners in scoring position unless Travis Bazana's up. So we're going to want to he's going to want to pitch to contact, and, they're not all supposed to hit him out of the yard. So he's attacking the strike zone, hoping to get a swing.
Holcroft punched out looking. 2 quick outs for Portland here in the bottom of the first as Brady Bean steps up.
Looks like a changeup. Ball might have been down, handled really well by Wilson Weber, Barlow High School local guy.
Bean swings at the first pitch and fouls it off behind us. It'll be 0-1.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of coaching Wilson Weber a few summers ago when he was fresh out of high school. He was one of the third catchers that we had at Cowlitz, and he caught a third of the games. And and he's a special player. As a matter of fact, he threw a baseball. If anybody's ever been to Lower Columbia Community College, he threw a baseball from home plate to on top of the shed. And in perspective, it would be like throwing a ball into the trees straight away here on the bluff. So the young man's got a bazooka for an arm.
2-1 to Bean. Wind up and throw. Bean puts this one in the air over towards the right field berm, but out of play and into the trees, avoiding the cars. 2-2 count on Bean.
Yeah, and another thing about Weber is he's just an incredible athlete, man. You should watch him play volleyball. I mean, he's a heck of a volleyball player, and he's got a brother playing at Lewis and Clark State, and it's just a very athletic family.
This one bouncing in, just gets away from Weber as it trickles to the backstop. 3-2 on Bean. Bean has been a nice addition for Portland this year. He's DHing today, but has a good eye at the plate. When he was at St. Martin's last year, he was the GNAC Freshman of the Year. 2-to-1 walk to strikeout ratio. Strike three, thought it was ball four. And he's rung up, 3 up into 1 senior. First pitch to Turley. Strike at the bottom of the zone, 0-1. Turley this year's batting .294 as he makes his 20th start on the season. 20 hits. Of those, 27 have gone for extra bases, including 3 home runs. And he's driven in 20 runs. Slightly open stance for him, the 0-1. In the dirt, McCarthy blocks it with his chest, 1-1. Pataxel, the second baseman, close to the bag at second. So big an opening on the right side of the infield for Portland, the 1-1. Ground ball hit to the right side. Pataxel ranging to his left, throws it on the move. And a quick out for Oregon State to start off the top of the second. Jabin Trotsky, starting shortstop for the Beavers, steps to the plate. The redshirt sophomore from Carmel, California. Just take a look at the replay.
Yeah, Morgan's done a really good job. I mean, he came out and just had a bunch of fire at him right off the bat, but he just never, ever wavered in his mentality. No one, if you would have walked in late, no one would have known that Bazana hit that ball. He just keeps attacking the strike zone and getting out. So he's going to settle in, doing a good job.
The 1-0. Trotsky lays off of that one. It's now 2-0.
Well, the thing about these games, too, Coach Lambo's not coming out and saving him. He's going to throw his pitch count today, so you might as well just roll your neck and compete, and it's always fun to compete against the best.
I was going to say, that's what these midweek games are about, is getting that extra time to get out there before conference play, as Trotsky fouls it off of his ankle, 2-1.
Hey, a good-looking arm out there, too.
And limited action coming in, only 9 innings and 3 appearances. Two and 2. Skondron evens up the count. And Corey, I think you and I can both speak on this, but since we've been calling games together here on the Bluff, I think the pitching staff has done a tremendous job of improving year after year, even with the new names coming in. You've had a couple of arms drafted over the last few years. The 2-2 pitch down the right field line, and this will end up on the berm, out of play. No play for Scavato. 2-2.
Yeah, they bring in good arms. They coach them up. Coach Lambo does a great job calling pitches, and the one thing that you have to be if you're a pilot, you got to be able to land pitches. You got to be able to land multiple pitches, and that's what these guys do.
Here's the 2-2. Infield playing back for Portland. Bounced in the left-handed batter's box. Full count to Trotsky.
Now, Morgan has a little Brock Gillis look to him out there.
He does, yeah, with the hair.
With the hair. Last year, Brock Gillis.
Full count. Chopper to the left side. Salk plays it in the hole, throws across his body, and just not enough on it. Trotsky running a hard 90, gets the infield single. That would have been a difficult play for Salk. He was so deep into the hole, having to throw across his body.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Jeter play, right? And then backhand it and throw it on the run is about the only thing you got.
Take a look at the fans here. It's a sold-out crowd here at Joe Etzel Field. Look at some of those open seats. Don't let that fool you. Our right field berm right now is chock full of people. First pitch, it's a strike. Delivered to Wilson Weber.
Yeah, with the weather and all this orange, it feels like hunting season around here.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Bunch of hunter orange.
0-1. High above the shoulders, evens the count at 1-1. Trosky does not have a stolen base on the season, but he had a nice hefty lead right there against Condren down the first base line. Smaller lead off this time. The 1-1. Slider stayed high. 2-1. Weber from Gresham, Oregon. You mentioned it, Corey. Went to Sam Barlow High School. Good pitch right there from Condren. Get the swing and miss. 2-2.
A lot of talent come out of that high school.
Yeah.
They currently have an arm there named River. River Hamilton is what I think his name is. And I'll tell you what, man, it's a pretty special young man. He's only a junior.
Strike 3. Weber goes down looking. 2 gone as Elijah Hainline, the third baseman, comes to the plate.
Third baseman, number 3, Elijah Hainline.
Take a look at that last pitch, and that just powered a fastball by him. I don't think that Weber was ready for it.
Yeah, might have been thinking breaking ball in that situation, and just not ready to go.
2 gone for Hainline, now up at the plate to throw over to first. Trosky back safely. Hainline, a junior from Spokane, Washington, started his collegiate career at Washington State. Played over 99 games for them in 2 seasons, making 96 starts. Collected 99 hits as a Cougar, driving in 60 with a .287 batting average. Trosky fakes his secondary. Breaking ball falls in for a strike, 0-1. Despite hitting .287 while at Washington State in the early portion of this season, he's hitting .250 in his 18th start. 14 hits, 15 RBI. Of those 14 hits, 9 have gone for extra bases. Pitch stays high for Condren, 1-1. That sun's starting to go down now, Corey. The wind not necessarily blowing straight out, but instead from right to left field. And we'll have that change quite a bit throughout today's game. The 1-1. Big swing and a miss. Confident, causing an extra flap of that flag out in the left center field. Pataxel's covering the bag if the runner goes. Outfield takes a step in. Beautiful breaking pitch right there, but just outside the zone.
Definitely was between the plate and the white line. No doubt McCarthy did a pretty good job trying to get that pitch. Could see some movement here out of the Beavers.
2-2. Trosky's going, turned on it. Thompson fields it, backhands it behind the bag at third, and throws Hainline out. The Beavers strand 1, no runs. Making his 16th start on the season. He's batting .286 in non-conference play. 16 hits, 13 RBI, 10 extra base hits, including 7 doubles and 3 home runs. Takes the inside breaking ball near the thighs for a ball, 2-0. Tolia hooks this one foul down the left field line, goes off the Pianovi hitting facility. 2-1. The Gig Harbor native came in last season from the University of Utah. And it was a question of whether or not who was going to fill the first base position left open by Sam Brown. Takes ball 3, 3-1. There's him or Tristan Gomez, and seemed like about halfway through the non-conference play, going into conference play, Tolia took over the starting first base position as he takes strike 2, makes it a full count, 3-2. Ended up being an all-conference selection. Honorable mention. 3-2. Just tucked his legs out of the way of that one, gets himself on via the walk, and the first base runner aboard tonight for Portland. Jonas Salk comes to the plate. Just behind those legs of Tolia.
If you're going to get hit, that's a good place to get hit. The keister.
The 1-0 after that pitch is low. Salk, sophomore from Fairfax, California. Played sparingly last year, only 12 games, 3 starts, had 2 hits and 3 RBI. Dribbler down the first baseline. No rotation to bring it back into the field of play. 1-1. Wind blowing out. Looking at the flag in left center field. Throw over to first. Tolia back in there. In the dirt, Tolia sees that it's gobbled up by Weber behind the plate. He'll stay at first, 2-1. Now, Corey, here's your first history lesson of the season. Salk takes a strike there, puts the count at 2-2. Do you know who the inventor of the polio vaccine was?
But I guess his last name was Salk.
You'd be spot on. In fact, his name was Jonas Salk. Not our Jonas Salk, though, as this ball goes to the backstop. Tolia up to second on the wild pitch. And it's now a full count.
Grandpa?
That I cannot confirm. As Tolia now in scoring position, Portland still looking for their first hit. Full count delivery. Down the third baseline, that's fair. Into the corner, Tolia rounds third, he'll come home. Salk into second with an RBI double, standing up, and we're all tied up at 1. How pivotal was that pass ball, though, for Portland? Tolia, he runs decently well, but I don't know if he scores off of that double from Salk if he's not at second.
I think it's second and third right now instead of a run scoring. Just a 3-2 ball that he got in play, went over the top of the bag and got down to the corner. It's not polio, but it is a double and an RBI.
Absolutely right, partner. As Ben Pataxel comes to the plate now, the starting second baseman for Portland.
Dr.
Pataxel, you're right. Senior from Renton, Washington. Went to O'Day High School. Squares to bunt. Down the third baseline, but foul. Touched by Hainline for a strike 0-1 to Pataxel.
Yeah, I like that right there. A little drag of ice. You know, instead of just going straight sacrifice, is going to try to drag for a base hit. Get on first base, move the guy to third. Now you got first and third with no outs. It's a pretty good baseball right there.
Pizzano will keep an eye on Salk over at second. Hainline now even with the bag at third after that bunt attempt from Pataxel, the first baseman, Guerra. About 15 feet off the line easily from first as Pataxel takes the ball 1-1. I think it's only fair that we let the people in on our little joke on Pataxel now.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, Dr. Pataxel, as we've been dubbing him here. 5th season here at the University of Portland because of that COVID season, but such a special player still in this lineup. Started every day last year, and you know, such a vital part to this program.
Yeah, there isn't a program for the doctor of baseball, but if he deserves a certificate for sure.
The 2-1. Lays off the high fastball, 3-1 now. Portland threatening to take the lead with a runner on second and nobody out.
And like we said in the Maryland broadcast, what's great about Pataxel is not only is he a great baseball player with a ton of high baseball intelligence, very versatile, can play anywhere in the infield. He's also just a great human being, and I got a chance to work with him over the fall, and the Pilots recruit a lot of great young men, and I think it's a big piece to why they have success. Good people get to their tools quicker because there's not a lot of worry about what people are thinking of them. They all care about each other.
Lifted into right field, dropping back is Turley. He makes the catch on the warning track. Salk will tag up from second, move up to third. He's now 90 feet away from scoring and giving Portland the lead as Riley McCarthy steps to the plate. And even though that ended up in and out, I think that's a productive at-bat for Pataxel.
100%. We call it a move him. He hit a ball on the right side to get the guy from second base to third. Now you got Riley McCarthy up, and Riley can hit the baseball. All Riley has to do is get the ball in play while the infield's coming in. So he's going to look to elevate a baseball so they can tag and score.
As you just mentioned, infield playing in with the runner over at third. Off speed inside to McCarthy for a ball, 1-0. McCarthy in his third season in the Portland Purple. So we have a mound visit right now. Seems like there might be some miscommunication between Weber and Mejia on the mound. McCarthy, though, from Vancouver, Washington, just across the river, went to Mountain View High School. Played in 13 games as a true freshman, mainly as a pinch hitter and late inning replacement. Hit .235 in limited action. Last year played a lot more, 24 games, 11 starts, hitting .214 on the year, 7 RBI. Actually had his first career home run earlier this season when they were down at USC.
Pilot home run. He's hit some home runs.
Well, yeah, you're right. First Pilot home run.
Yeah, Riley was a high school quarterback, and I'm not sure if he was valedictorian, but I think he was pretty close to being a valedictorian, and a very high baseball intelligence. And he could hit a little bit. Matter of fact, against Maryland, they went deep with no hits, and he was the guy that got him off the schneid.
In fact, I think he was the first one to really square up a ball. You mentioned how he probably just barely missed it because it went to the warning track as he swings and misses here. Falls behind in the count 1-2. Yeah, that Maryland game, I mean, Portland didn't have a hit for the first 4 or 5 innings before they finally got a run across, and it was thanks to an error and then an RBI ground out that ended up getting Portland their first run without even getting a hit. McCarthy fouls it off to our right, back to the 1-2 count.
I'm friends with McCarthy's dad, and I asked him how things were going, and he told me, he said he listened to the broadcast afterwards, and he said that Riley told him that he did miss that ball. Riley put a charge into a ball early in the game that was caught at the wall. The left fielder for Maryland made a heck of a lot of plays out there that day.
1-2. McCarthy goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Evan Scavato. Scavato, the senior's batting .212 on the year from Puyallup, Washington. Making his 14th start. 11 hits on the year, just 5 RBI, a little bit behind what he was doing a year ago for Portland. He hit .310, driving in 44 with 10 home runs. This ball bounced in near the feet. 1-0 to start off Scavato. He was named first team All-WCC last year as one of only 2 Pilots to receive that honor before. He's tabbed as a preseason All-WCC selection as well. High and inside. Ducks out of the way, 2-0.
I remember when he first broke the lineup out there in right field when we had some injuries out there, or when the Pilots did, and then, you know, the next game he's at third base, and he can play, he's pretty versatile as well.
See ya. Chin music right there to Scavato. Another one inside, makes it 3-0 now. Talking with him last year, had an opportunity to sit down and chat with him for about 15, 20 minutes. And he talked about how, hey, you know, it doesn't matter where coach puts me out there. I'm just ready to play. I want to play at any position. I'll play it at the best level that I can. As he takes a strike here, 3-1. But that's why we saw him start out in right field. And then he made his way over to third. And earlier this season, in fact, in the Maryland series, he was playing second base at one point. So you can really just plug and play him almost anywhere on this diamond. In fact, I'm pretty sure we've seen him play first base before. Into the dirt. And a walk to Scavato. Puts runners on the corners.
And that's another credit to the Pilots coaching staff. They do a really good job of bringing guys in And, you know, they might be a third baseman when they get here, but they're playing some second. They might play some short. I mean, guys have gone from, I remember Saunders. Man, Saunders played second. He played short. He played third. And then in his final season, he was on the mound. So the Pilots do a really good job of taking advantage of the talent. They want to get their best offense in the game and not give up defense, so they move guys around.
Ty Saunders now moved on to Stony Brook. He's a pitcher over there on the East Coast. As Jack Thompson, making his 8th start of the season, steps to the plate. Missed a good portion of non-conference play, dealing with a hand injury. Finally got into the lineup, as we're going to have a mound visit in his 7th game. Just 2 hits and 21 at-bats. Looking for that first RBI of the season. Throw over to first. Scavato is in there. Salk stays put over at third. So we'll go back to the 1-0 count. Bazzana playing in shallow right field. Heavy pull hitter in Thompson. Chasing the off speed. 1-1.
Got a chance to check out Jack this weekend, and I was trying to think of a major league comp of him, and he reminds me of Sean Burroughs. I don't know if you remember him. He's kind of an old timer, but played in the Diamondback organization, and a big-bodied third baseman type guy with a left-handed swing, and it's just kind of who he reminds me of.
And Thompson, a graduate transfer from Lewis and Clark, from Millbrae, California. He stands at 6 foot 230. As the former reigning Division III National Player of the Year, the 2-1 inside, and that actually got him, but he went on the swing, and they're saying he did not go around. I thought he did go around on that one, Corey, and they're going to give him the free pass. And Mitch Canham not happy about that, and you can understand why. Take a look at the replay here, and that bat clearly went around.
Yeah, he's going to probably ask for help there to say, hey, can we just ask one of the other umpires stand out here what they saw.
Well, he did just appeal to Ken Diber, who was in between second and third. And they didn't go around it. And a couple of the Oregon State fans not happy with that as well. Again, this is a sold-out crowd today here at Joe Etzel Field. So now the bases are loaded, and we go back to the top of the lineup for Portland. It's Christian Cooney.
He's going to go ahead and go to the pen and get a different guy.
I think you're right, partner. Cooney steps to the plate for the 2nd time today. Last time he grounded out to the shortstop, Jabin Trotsky. First pitch off speed, 1-0. That looked like it was slow enough for Cooney to put his bat on it.
Pretty wide slider.
Cooney takes the inside pitch above the hands, 2-0. Gavin Turley playing deep in right field. In fact, all the outfielders for the Beavers playing deep. They know that Cooney can swing the big stick. Ball 3, now 3-0. To Cooney. Pilots can take the lead with a walk. Good take right there, 3-1. Salk is on third, Scavato on second, Thompson over at first. 3-1 delivery. Cooney puts it high in the air on the infield. Weber throwing his mask. Now it's Guerra calling everybody off, and he makes the catch on the infield grass. The Pilots strand 3, but 1 run does. Oregon State, though, on a 4-game win streak against the Portland Pilots. It's Travis Bazzana steps in the left-handed batter's box. He opened up the scoring with a solo home run to lead off today's game. And a ball that I don't know if it's landed yet. First pitch he sees this time around against Condren. Near the ankles for a ball, 1-0. Right side of the infield playing back. It's Tolia at first. Pataxel at second base is in shallow right field as Bazzana takes a strike. 1-1. Jonas Salk, the shortstop, is just to the left of second base from our point of view. One delivery. And they appealed down to third base, but Bazana got hit by the pitch, looked like in the foot. So he gets the free pass, and the leadoff man is aboard for Oregon State as Micah McDowell steps to the plate.
Number 12, Micah McDowell.
McDowell was hitting .460 coming into today. He just had that base hit back in the first inning where he got left stranded on first base. He's now hitting .471. On top of that, he's now on a 17-game on-base streak. And after reaching with that single, Bazana small lead over at first. Condren still going to check in on him, throw it over to first. He's back safely.
You certainly don't take a deep breath and go, oh, thank goodness we get to face this guy now.
Bazana bouncing on that first baseline. Ball 2 to McDowell. Last year for Bazana, he set the single-season record for the Beavers with 36 stolen bases on 39 attempts. Fouled off down the left field line and out of play. Past the bullpen for Portland, 2-1 on McDowell.
They're not hitting my pickup today. I saw the wind blowing and parked at the other end of the parking lot.
Oh,
I got a new
that's
pickup.
a lesson we learned early. Never park near the ballpark. Even though you always mention it, you know, cars are 90% air. Knowing my luck, my car is going to be the one that ends up getting struck.
It seems like it over here along the first baseline. The trees and the cars are 90% air. The balls just fall right in between them.
3-1 as that slider misses to McDowell. McDowell, the lone senior starting today for Oregon State. Once ranked the number 3 prospect in Alberta, the number 1 outfielder. Check swing, flared behind the bag at second, and Salk able to make the catch. One away, Bazana still at first.
Yeah, when you're hitting 450, your check swings are barreled. I mean, I'd take that.
It's Mason Guerra now up to bat. 0 for 1 today. He flew out to Christian Cooney in left field. I remember correctly, he swung at one of the first pitches of this at-bat, so didn't really get a chance to look too much at Condren.
Yeah, Bazana's like a bad rash on the bases. You know, you're trying to execute pitches, and he gets the short lead, and then he bounces off, and then before you know it, he'll be gone. And he definitely puts a lot of pressure on arms, and he also puts a lot of pressure on arms to throw more fastballs. You don't want him just to swipe second base, and you know, if you throw a breaking ball and he'll get second base. So he definitely helps the hitters behind him.
The 1-0. Guerra lays off the slider that drops out of the zone. 2-0. You know, Oregon State wants to get back into the win column. They let one slip away on Sunday in their first conference weekend series as Guerra drives one deep into left. Cooney's dropping back, hand on the wall, and goodbye. Home run for the Beavers. They now lead 3-1. Guerra hitting his 4th home run of the season, and RBIs number 19 and 20 on the year.
Young man got some barrel there, but you'll see it's kind of off the end of the bat, and it was no doubt wind-aided tonight. And the ball barely got over. Cooney was right there, but you know, he hit a home run on in the book, so it's a home run. But the wind did help that a little bit.
As Jacob Craig, who struck out looking his last time up, comes to the plate for the second time. Blown away on a fastball from Condren, 1-0. There is an arm now warming up in the bullpen for Portland. And that looks to be Brock Gillis warming up for the Pilots. Check swing, Craig went around. 1-1 is the count.
Yeah, you and I talked before the game. Maryland, I predicted about 3 home runs, and then what did I say tonight?
You said 5 tonight.
And the wind's howling, and like I said, I'm not taking anything away from the young man that just hit the home run, but he hit the ball hard, but the wind did help it a little bit, I think. Now, I'm not going to say that about Bazana's ball.
Are you sure?
He hit it into the wind, actually.
Yeah, he did.
He hit it into the wind, so a little different.
Hit it into the wind, and he still hit it a mile.
Or a half a mile.
The 1-2. That one made it about 58 feet. 2-2. I can't remember if it was Sam Brown or Trace Tamero who hit one down the right field line. And you said, I'm pretty sure that one ended up in the Willamette. Ground ball down the third baseline and foul. That looked like it hopped right over the bag at third. As Ken Diber has caught the heat from Oregon State fans a couple times already.
Yeah, that's a close one. I don't see Coach Canham coming out and arguing, so they got a pretty good look there in that first base dugout. It was close.
I was going to say, that's the optimum angle over there for them. Just on the other side of the bag. So 2-2 is the count with a 3-1 lead for Oregon State. Swing and a miss. 2 gone. Craig goes down with his second strikeout today. That sends up Dallas Macias. 0 for 1, flew out to right field to Evan Scavato. It was a well-struck ball, but it was directly at Scavato. He never had to move. Macias hitting .304 on the year. 17 hits and 14 RBI. Got it on the inside part of the bat. It's going to drop in front of Pataxel, and he cannot make a play. He was playing in shallow right field, tried to barehand it. Instead, it's an infield single for Macias. Unfortunate break for the Pilots right there. It was a good pitch from Condren to jam that batter.
Number 1, Gavin Turley.
Gavin Turley, next man up for the Beavers. Started off the second inning with a ground out to Ben Pataxel over at second. Pataxel has moved over to cover the bag at second in case Macias takes off running. Condren will throw over to first. Macias is back safely. 2 stolen bases on the year for Macias. Decent lead, about 6 feet off the bag. Breaking ball to start off this at-bat. It's a strike to Turley. Turley had some high praise coming out of high school. He was selected in the 19th round in the 2022 draft by the Diamondbacks, but did not sign, elected to go to college. Runners going, McCarthy up throwing, and that ball ends up in center field. Holcroft is there to back it up, though. Staying put is Macias after the stolen base. Still 2 gone, runner now in scoring position. Despite being taken in the 19th round, he was actually rated the number 87 overall draft prospect. It's a perfect game, All-American and first-team All-State after hitting .317 as a senior. Heat from Condren, too much for Turley there. 1-2. Turley last season was a perfect game, second-team freshman All-American. He was named All-Regional team in the Baton Rouge Regional. Condren drops that pitch into the left-handed batter's box, 2-2. He hit .309 over 44 games last year in 39 starts, hit a team-best 14 home runs, and drove in 46 runs. Already with 20. Runners going, popped up. McCarthy giving chase. Tolia also, he's in front of the dugout right now for Oregon State, makes the catch. And that ends the inning. No threat, 23 hits, 15 RBI. This year, though, has been a bit uncharacteristic of him. Last year, he only struck out once about every 10-plus at-bats. Takes ball 2, 2-0. Head in the count. This year it's been a bit different as he struck out in his first at-bat, looking to start today's game off. Now striking out about once every 5 at-bats. And knowing Holcroft, the water will level out for him. Smart hitter at the plate. The ability to fight off difficult pitches. 3-0 delivery. That's a 4-pitch walk.
Both hitters that he's faced, he started with the breaking ball, and I feel like that's been kind of his problem. He started with the breaking ball, couldn't find command with the fastball, gets behind, then feels the pressure of it, and ends up walking on 4 straight. No one's on base. Really good time to start a bat with a fastball, and especially when you got a 3-1 lead in a team like that in the dugout. I think you're okay to throw some fastballs over the gut of the plate.
You trust the bats behind you to get things going. Holcroft, decent lead. Bean torches one, but it goes foul off the fence of the bullpen. Bean struck out his last time up looking. He thought it was ball 4. Instead, it was called strike 3 on him. Holcroft about 8 feet off the bag now at first. And you'll get a throw over. He's back in there head first. Holcroft's going. Inside pitch. Weber throws. Bounces in. Bazzana will not apply the tag in time. Stolen base for Holcroft. His 5th stolen base of the season. And this is a perfect opportunity for Portneau. At least get one back here with a man in scoring position and nobody out.
Yeah, you're trying to win innings. You know, you get in move him situation right now. You're trying to get him over to third base, and hopefully next guy on deck can knock him in, or you get a hit here and knock him in. But worst case scenario, you want to get Holcroft to third base.
Reynolds missing high. 3-1 now to Bean. Bazzana retreats from second. Bean, fly ball into right center field. Going back is McDowell near the track, and he'll make the catch on the track. Holcroft tags up, moves over to third, and a productive out for the Pilots as the man is now 90 feet away from scoring.
Yeah, great job by the Pilots. Twice now they've had a guy on second base with 2 outs. Found a way to hit a deep ball to the right side, allowed the Pilots to get to third base, and now all we got to do is get a ball in play and you get yourself a run. And again, that's the name of the game.
Tolia walked in his first at-bat, came around to score thanks to the RBI double by Jonas Salk. Got into scoring position thanks to a wild pitch. He'll start out 1-0. Reynolds right now, I don't know if he's thrown a first pitch strike yet to a Pilot hitter. 1-1 now.
And that's problematic. I mean, at the end of the day, you as a pitcher, you want to throw one of the first 2 pitches, I think, in the strike zone. And, you know, when you're a starting pitcher and no one's on base, you want to go 3 pitches on or out. And when you start a guy with ball 1, he can start to eliminate.
Popped up behind home plate. Weber giving chase. Tosses the mask at the net, and he cannot make the catch. Just out of his reach. Chase too far to the backstop. Sun starting to set here. The stadium lights just ticked on. And Tolia gets a second life here at the plate with a 1-2 count after the dropped foul ball.
I think you'll see a slider here, and if he hits the other side, there is that slider.
There it is. Holcroft is going to come in. Weber just gets to it. Doesn't matter. Holcroft scores, cuts the lead to 1, 3-2 in favor of Oregon State. And I should reiterate, not a dropped foul ball, misplayed foul ball.
Yeah, it was a hard slider that bounced, and Weber did his best to get around it, and he didn't get around it, and Holcroft got a chance to score. And the thing about it is, I thought slider was coming. Slider's kind of his out pitch. He's trying to punch the guy with one out, and he threw exactly what I suspected, what the Holcroft suspected, and since it got in the dirt, he was able to get a good jump and get away.
Full count now to Tolia. Right side of the infield, shifted up towards the bag at second. Full count delivery out of the bottom of the zone, and another walk for Tolia. 2 walks now in this inning for Reynolds on the mound.
Oregon State Beavers are pitching some guys that haven't got some time, and so are the Pilots, and they're just trying to get better for their conference play.
Salk chases the first pitch. Can't connect, 0-1. Salk, after that RBI double, lifted his average over 300. He's now at 302 on the year. Puts a drive deep into right field. Turley makes the catch about 7 feet in front of the warning track. Tolia back to first after the flyout, and that'll bring up Dr. Pataxel. Pataxel, last game against Maryland, put a drive into one. It was the first Yabo at the Ets this season, and that ball left in a hurry, Corey.
Yeah, got the barrel out, back spun it. I thought I was going to go off the wall. It's a good thing it might have knocked the wall over.
Takes inside, twisting out of the way for a ball, 1-0. Pataxel hitting .250 coming into today with 8 RBI and 12 hits. Takes the 1-0 slider for a strike, 1-1. 2 outs now for Portland. Got runs in back-to-back innings, one in the second, now one here in the third, after Holcroft scored on a wild pitch. Pataxel fouls off the outside pitch in the netting behind home plate, 1-2.
Now here we sit in that same 1-2 situation. The Pilots are going to maybe move here. The young man's out pitch is slider, so we're reading ball and dirt or we're swiping a bag here.
Inside, twisting out of the way again, 2-2. Now he got fooled on a pitch against Maryland. It was another inside pitch where he's, again, twisted out of the way of it, and it was actually called strike 3 against him. Pataxel lays off the pitch, low and away. Full count now to the O'Day High School product. Wind blowing out to left center. Tolia goes, ball 4 to Pataxel. The 3rd walk of the inning now for Reynolds. It's Riley McCarthy gets a chance to add a run here for Portland. McCarthy in his lone at bat so far today struck out. That was in the second. He was the second man to be punched out in the inning. Tolia with a nice lead off of second. First pitch slider again missing to McCarthy. It's 1-0.
Again, he hasn't showed a ton of command after the slider. Me as a hitter in this situation, I might go straight take. But we'll see.
Check swing. Did not go around, 2-0 to McCarthy. I feel like at this point, with his inconsistency of finding the zone, you might not want to take the bat off the shoulder until he can deliver a strike to you. Gets one there, 2-1.
Well, you do have a bat in your hand, and you are up there to hit.
You are up there to hit.
You got to be a little bit careful of being super passive up there, but there's some things that you can get, some tendencies when you watch a guy over an inning or two, and like you said, it's a little bit effective wild, and hasn't really thrown a strike after the slider, and you get yourself to a 2-0 count, which McCarthy did, and then the 2-0 pitch was a pitcher's pitch, which was a down fastball on the outer half, and McCarthy didn't go on it, which was smart. It's just a ground ball.
Lifted into center field. It's a high fly ball that should be easily played by McDowell, and he'll make the catch in center field, ending the threat for the Portland Pilots. 1 run comes in to score to cut that lead 2-1. It's 3-2 from the University of Washington, as he faces Jabin Trotsky. Trotsky just making his 6th start of the year. Takes the first pitch ball on the changeup, 1-0. But in 10 games this year, he's batting .455. Gillis missing low and away, 2-0. Trotsky singled in his lone at bat today. Takes ball 3. Well, for Oregon State, it's about how fast you start in these types of games, and they've outscored their opponents 69-24 in the first 3 innings coming into today, and they're 10-1 when they score first. It's Gillis missing 4 straight pitches for a walk to Trotsky to start off the 4th. And their one loss that they had after scoring first, it was on Sunday against the University of Utah. Oregon State started out up 9-0 and then ended up dropping that game to the Utes 14-11. It's Wilson Weber now in the right-handed batter's box. Struck out looking his only at-bat today. Five straight balls now, and you're going to see Dr. Pataxil call time, go to the mound, talk things over with Gillis along with the young shortstop Salk.
Again, this is what he got his name for.
Yeah.
Come on out, come to the mound, show some leadership. Hey, Brock, let's not make this bigger than it is. Let's attack the strike zone. Let's get a 2-ball right here, and everything will be just grand. So, and again, we watched his brother go through this situation where, had to really learn how to land pitches, and obviously struggling with the slider. There's that first pitch for a strike, and if he lands his slider, he's going to have a ton of success tonight.
Weber hitting .071 through 4 games, only 1 hit in 15 at-bats. All air on that swing, 1-2.
And a second really good slider, and I expect an expanded slider here. Could see the Beavers move.
And you got Trotsky over at first. No stolen base attempts this year. That slider just hangs high, 2-2. Haven't really seen Gillis get that fastball in there yet. Ball 3. Full count now to Wilson Weber.
Pretty good pitch there. Just missed the top of the zone.
Already another arm getting loose in the bullpen for Portland. Full count delivery from Gillis. Runners going. Doesn't matter. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks to start off this 4th inning. Weber at first, Trotsky now at second, as Elijah Hainline, the 3rd baseman for the Beavers tonight, steps to the plate. Jack Thompson was able to steal a hit away from him last time. See Ryan Rembes warming up for the Pilots. Slider too far inside again on Gillis. It's 1-0.
Yeah, and the big thing to remember, if you're out there on the mound and you're feeling bad at what's going on, you're 1 pitch from a ground ball to Pataxil and a 2-ball and a guy in 3rd and a punch out, and you're out of the inning. So you can't get too excited until you start giving up runs. And there's another good slider by Gillis.
Back-to-back inside sliders. This time it goes for a strike, 1-1. Wind blowing out, looking at the flag in left center. Strike 2. Gillis has responded back with back-to-back strikes after the first pitch ball. No chase, back to the full count now to the hitter. You really don't want to put a third base runner on with Bazana coming to the plate. High chopper over to third. Thompson has to wait on it. And a low throw just off the edge of the glove of Tolia. That'll be an infield single. That ball was just hammered into the ground, and Thompson couldn't do anything but wait for it to drop.
Yeah, super unlucky for Gillis. You know, just pounded into the ground. A pretty good pitch, a good slider on the outer half. He just hacked it into the ground, and that's almost a hurry ball. And what I mean by hurry is everybody, we're going to go pump fake and maybe try to get the guy at third base. You throw that, if that squirts away, run score. So again, he hasn't given up any runs yet. The unfortunate thing is,
he's facing one of the best hitters in the country right now.
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, with Bazana coming up, you know, I got a little trivia question for you. I just wanted to say that, you know, Bazana might be the first ever second baseman drafted first overall. The Beavers obviously had Rutschman a couple years ago, and now they have Bazana. And, you know, they're saying that Bazana is Corbin Carroll type player. Do you know who is the highest drafted second baseman ever?
For the Beavers, or
No,
in Major
general,
League Baseball history?
General. There's only been one in the top in the top 5, top 6. I have to give you really hard ones because you're way too.
Yeah, I was going to say my first thought. Ground ball hit to the right side, through the hole, into right field. Scavato fields it. Trotsky scores. Holding up at third is Weber. That'll be an RBI single and the 14th multi-hit game for Travis Bazana this season.
A lot of great second basemen over history. Most of them didn't get to the big leagues starting as a second baseman, right? Most of them were shortstops and other positions.
No, never mind. I was going to say Hoffman for a second, but I was like, I know he was drafted as a second baseman, but not that high. Let's take another look at that swing from Bazana. He just carries that bat so well. He can locate the ball at any part of the strike zone as McDowell fouls it off. Cooney giving chase. And it looked like it went off the Pianovi hitting facility. 0-1 to McDowell.
I'll give it to you because I don't think you're going to figure it out.
Well, at least give me a hint. You know, I give you plenty of hints over there.
Okay. It's not days, it's not months, but it's
years.
Ricky Weeks.
Ricky Weeks. Oh, of course. Of course.
Second overall pick.
Ricky Weeks.
Let's mark that on the wall.
Yeah,
Corey,
go ahead.
Corey
Here.
Kier won. I don't get a lot of them, so I got take it when I get one.
The 1-1. Stays high on McDowell. Now 2-1. Off the end of the bat, Salk having to charge it from short. Throws across his body. That'll get McDowell over at first, but a run comes in to score on the RBI ground out by McDowell. First out, Bazana moves up to second. Over to third is Hainline.
Yeah, sometimes this game is so unfair. Two little choppers. If those balls are regular balls, they're 2 balls. Instead, they're little choppers, and you only got 1 out of them.
Mason Guerra now batting. 1 for 2 today. A 2-run home run in the third. Made the score 3-1 as it's now 5-2 after back-to-back RBI. One by Bazana, the other by McDowell. Just missing. 2-0.
Yeah. Coach Loomis is showing a little emotion. You don't see that. You don't see that too often.
Almost never. Guerra, swing and a miss. And Loomis back into the dugout for Portland.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where that pitch was, but from our standpoint, it was pretty good. But from wherever I stand, it's usually the call is against me, not for me. So
2-1 with runners on second and third. Drive deep into right. Scavato at the wall, and he's going to watch it go off the scoreboard. Guerra, second home run of the day. He's now got 5 RBI after the 3-run home run. Guerra adding on to the lead. It's now 8-2 after a 5 spot here in the 4th for Oregon State, and there's still only 1 out as Jacob Craig now comes to the plate.
Yeah, elevated fastball. Just hammered it out of the park with the wind going out.
Again, that was another one that sort of fought against the wind, though, out to right field, as it's been blowing out to left center or going across from right to left today.
Yeah, tough deal there. You know, if that total different at bat, if the 1-1 slider's called for a strike, it's, you know, 1-1 or 1-2 instead of 2-1, and attacking fastball that got elevated and hit it out.
Craig turns on one but goes foul. Bouncing off the fence just to the left of the dugout for Portland. 0-2.
Now, one thing I'll say, I want to say it was about a year ago. The Pilots were playing a top-ranked Pac-12 team, and they were down, I want to say about the same, maybe 7-2, and it was raining. And
talking about the Duck game?
That's exactly right. And remember how that ended. And
big
Jake Sukata came in and a big pinch hit off the bat. Justin Sukata, little brother, came in, hit a ball off the wall, tied the game, and then eventually a pop fly to the infield in the rain, up in the lights, won it on an error. So a lot of baseball left.
And again, we just saw these Pilots come back. They were down 5 going into the bottom of the 8th and put up a 5 spot to tie it up at 8 against Maryland, who quality team out of the Big Ten Conference. Back-to-back regular season Big Ten champs and tournament champ last year. No call near the knees. Gillis wondering where that one was. It's a full count, 3-2.
Yeah. The strike zone's moving around, and, you know, obviously I'm not down there. I do know that we have 2 umpires with the black shirts, and one guy wore his blue shirt, and I don't know if he knows what strike and ball is right now, but
he does on that one. Strikes out Craig looking, and that is his 3rd strikeout today for the designated hitter. Dallas Macias steps up. Good looking pitch.
Honestly, he probably got it right. A little tall, maybe a little tall.
Now, how often, they'll never come out and say it, but how often do you feel like you get a makeup call after you realize maybe one didn't go your way?
I think some guys do it, but for the most part, you know, you're supposed to call what you see. And I mean, me personally, it's a midweek game. The Beavers are up 8-2. That pitch is just way too marginal to take. I think it's a strike, but on replay, you know, if there's a box, it's maybe touching the line. And so, like I said, when you're up high in the booth or you're in the box, you have a lot of opinions on what calls look like. But let's be honest, umpires do a pretty good job.
They do.
And especially in the West Coast Conference and the Pac-12, those guys are as good as they get, man.
Strike 2 called. This time against Dallas Macias. He's now behind 1-2 in the count. 1 for 2 today with a single and a stolen base. Takes an inside off-speed pitch, 2-2. I did have a chance to see the first challenge in spring training. Catcher called out the umpire wanting to have a replay, and the strike barely caught the corner of the plate as that ball gets fouled off into the glove of McCarthy. And back-to-back strikeouts for the Beavers at the plate. Stunts at second base. His only plate appearance so far. And this time he gets hit in the back. First pitch. And the leadoff man is aboard for Portland. That is the third consecutive inning that has happened. The last 2 times that has happened, the Pilots ended up scoring in that inning. This ball slipped out of the hand right there of Reynolds. Jack Thompson got hit by pitches last time up. Never made it past first base, though. Cooney was the final out. He is now on deck. Thompson watches that one bounce into Weber, 1-0. Thompson looking for that first hit in a Pilot uniform here at the Ets. After being hit by that pitch is first time he's gotten on. Weber, and that one bounced away from him. Scavato moves up 90 feet to second. He's now in scoring position for Portland. Portland still only 1 hit. That came off the bat of Jonas Salk in the second inning. Portland benefited from 3 walks. And a wild pitch that ended up scoring Holcroft. Bounced in. Blocked by Weber. Thompson with the 3-1 count again. Started out at around 68 degrees. Mostly sunny. Thompson turns on it, but foul by a foot or two down the first baseline. Full count. After the foul ball, full count to Thompson. Bazana in shallow right field with the left-handed bat. This ball skied down the right field line. It looks like it's going to go into foul territory, and it is. It's caught by Bazana, and a quick throw over to third halts Scavato at second. Bazana ranging a long way from second base. He was in shallow right field, able to get all the way up the line and make that catch. And now we're going to pitch. He's given up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting a .158 against him. The first man he faces is Christian Cooney as he drops an off-speed pitch in for a strike, 0-1. No small man on the mound. Munt, 6'5", 218. Cooney chases a low pitch, falls behind in the count, 0-2.
Yeah, big old physical presence out there on the bump.
Munt from Houston, California. Cooney takes on the high pitch. Munt only making his 6th appearance, but it's been a long couple of years. He has not pitched in the last 2 seasons for Oregon State. Cooney goes down on strikes. Two gone for Portland as Jake Holcroft steps to the dish. Runner still in scoring position. That's Scavato. Holcroft today 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking and a walk and a stolen base. And there again, good movement on that pitch right there from Munt.
Yeah, good changeup is what it was.
Starts out Holcroft 1-0. The left-handed bat, Bazana in shallow right field, and Guerra, the first baseman, playing behind the bag. Check swing, slow roller up to first. Going to be fielded by Guerra. Steps on the bag before Holcroft gets there. And that'll end the Pilots at the plate. 0 for 3 with a strikeout, pop out, and a ground out. So Ramirez, the transfer from Arizona Christian, takes over in the left field as Gavin Turley leads things off. He's 0 for 2 today. Ground out and a pop out to his name. Slider from Gillis, ball 1, 1-0. 2-0. Turley last year hitting .309 on the season. Sort of came back down to earth during Pac-12 play. Hit .164 in 18 games. Strike on the slider, 2-1. His 14 home runs were tied for 6th most in a single season by an Oregon State hitter. That was done as a true freshman. Pulls the inside pitch for a strike, 2-2. Got him. Swing and a miss to start off the 5th.
The game's a humbling game, Brian. Gillis, you know, it's been a rough go here. He just keeps pitching, you know, and when things aren't going great, it just piles. Ball beat into the ground, and quite frankly, in this sequence of pitches, I thought he threw 4 or 5 strikes, quite frankly. And the important thing is just to continue to battle through for your team and get to the next arm.
That ball slipped out of the hand of Gillis, goes over the head of Jabin Trosky. That one just a bit outside the zone. It's 1-0.
Looks like it slipped out of his hand.
Yeah. Trosky on the day, 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. 1 run scored as well. He was one of the 5 runs that came in the 4th. Gillis responds back with a strike in the zone, 1-1. Trosky, a redshirt sophomore. Did not play last season as he takes ball 2, but in his freshman season, played in 24 games, had 11 starts, hit .288 with 11 RBI. I'd say he's off to a better start this season, as he's hitting .478, but it's only his 11th game of the year. Two from Gillis, 1 out. Put that one in the dirt, gloved by McCarthy, full count. Gillis has only thrown an inning and a third, but 44 pitches to his name. Check swing, they appeal down to first, and Steve Hilgendorf saying he did not go around, so Trosky's got himself on with his 2nd walk today. With 1 out, 1 on, that'll bring up Wilson Weber. It's 0 for 1 today. Strikeout looking in the 2nd, and then walked and came around to score. Part of that 5-run 4th inning. Weber will take the first pitch strike. We started today at around 69 degrees. Here on the bluff. It's getting chillier and chillier by the moment. 62 degrees now as the sun has set behind the clouds.
I'm getting old, Brian. It feels like it's about 40.
Ball hit well into center. Holcroft is giving chase and makes a jumping catch at the wall. And Weber retired. 2 outs now for the Beavers as Trosky retreats back to first. Allowed out for Weber. And I don't think he could have hit it any farther and kept it in the stadium. 388 to dead center. And Holcroft needed every inch. Elijah Hainline, the 3rd baseman, comes up for his 3rd at-bat. Grounded out to 3rd in his first one. And had a single and scored in his 2nd at-bat in the 4th. Rembes is done warming up. He's next to the bullpen catcher for Portland. Hainline not chasing on a slider that drops. 2-0. Pataxa will cover the bag on a throw. And that hits Hainline. like a statue, did not move. Let it hit him. We'll go back to the top of the order, and somebody you really wish you didn't have to go to, and I think you might have a pitching change now with Bazana coming to the plate. Had Gillis gotten out of this, could have given Rembiz a clean inning to come into. Well, Bazana so far today, home run, hit by pitch, and an RBI single. He's come around to score 3 times. He's now tied with Jacoby Ellsbury, the program record for most runs scored at 168 as he takes a first pitch ball. Start off this at-bat 1-0. That's a pretty good ball player that he's up there with in the ranks. Jacoby Ellsbury, longtime MLB player, World Series champ with the Red Sox.
Madras High School.
Strike to Bazana, 1-1.
4 for 24 against the LaSalle Falcons that I coached.
Oh, yeah?
And I remember I thought he could really defend, he could really run, and I remember going into the all-league meeting, and I didn't think Jacoby was that great because he couldn't hit, but then he met a guy named Pat Casey, and Pat Casey taught him how to hit. And I can remember when he had a big game in one of the World Series games, my phone was just blowing up about how good Jacoby Ellsbury was. So valuable lesson by me. I probably should have just kept my lips shut on that one.
Bazana crushes another ball, and he's now the program record holder for runs scored, and another home run to his name. 3 more runs scored. It's now 11-2 after the 3-run home run, his 5th RBI of the day.
And I'll tell you, the Beavers have had a lot of great players. First overall pick, Rutschman, a lot of great players. But this Bazana kid is something special, man. I had the pleasure of watching him when he was a high school kid coming over. I coached for Cowlitz and watched him at the Corvallis Knights, and he was the best player in the summer that year. And he just continues to get better and better and better. And it's almost like a video game. The fact that he's hit 2 big home runs here tonight, man, he's a good player.
Yeah, like I said, he now has 169 runs scored. That passes Jacoby Ellsbury. He is now the program record holder. Rembiz throwing a ball there, makes it 1-1.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw him out, man. Right now he's like the Barry Bonds of college baseball right now. Yeah. I mean, you can't pitch anything into him or he whacks it out of the yard.
It's 4 home runs now in the last 2 games. Thompson giving chase near the bullpen and runs into the fence, giving chase to it. A long strike for McDowell, 1-2. That is impressive, though. 4 home runs in the last 2 games. He had 2 home runs when he went 5 for 6 against Utah on Sunday. Now he's 3 for 3. And he scored 4 times. The only time he didn't get a hit, he got hit by a pitch.
Yeah, I can remember being a young man and my brother and I watching the Ken Griffey Jr. go 8 games in a row with a home run. And that's pretty special, obviously, in the big leagues.
Ground ball to Salk at short. That ends the inning for the Beavers, but 3 more coming to score thanks to the 3-run home run by Travis Moore in the top of the 5th. Portland has not had an answer as Brady Bean steps up 0 for 2 today. Struck out looking, and then a fly ball into center field taken in by McDowell. First pitch ball from Munt, 1-0. Strike 1 called on Bean. Credit to the Oregon State fans, though. I mean, they traveled well. This is a home game for Portland, but I'm seeing more orange than purple, and that's even with the purple seats.
Yeah, the Beavers travel well, no doubt, with the baseball team. There's a lot of people who live in the town here that graduated from Oregon State.
Easy trip for them than driving the 90 minutes south. 2-1 delivery. Bean takes strike 2 inside. He knew it. Put his hand on his chest right afterwards. 2-2. Right now you're just getting a cloud front coming in as Bean chases the pitch away. Starts out the 5th inning with a strikeout for Portland. Zach Tolia due up for Portland. See, just looking over the hill there, Corey. Clouds creeping in. Good pitch right there. Being chasing all the way. Tolia, strike at the top of the zone, 0-1. Off the plate for a ball. Tolia today, no official at-bat. He has walked twice. Came around to score back in the second thanks to the RBI double from Jonas Salk, and then he was left stranded at second the last time he reached base. Off the top of the net behind home plate, now behind in the count 1-2. Portland has had opportunities. They've gotten on via the walk, but they just have not had that timely hit. Only one hit today. Tolia chases on a fastball away. Back-to-back strikeouts for Munt on the mound. 2 gone as Jonas Salk, the only man with a hit, steps up. 1 for 2 today. That RBI double in the second, and then he flew out to right field.
Yeah, pretty sure they had the bases loaded with 1 out and went strikeout pop-up.
Yep.
Yeah, strikeout pop-up, I think. But the Pilots aren't done. They got to play this game, and they're going to try to win innings. And sometimes, you know, as a baseball guy, you end up with some situations like this, and you got a couple things you can do. You can pout about what's going on, or you can roll your neck and try to win innings. And again, this is process. As much as it doesn't feel great if you're a Pilots fan, you're going to take this game as a process game, and especially when it gets like this. This is when you're going to really start coaching. Making sure to stay positive and keep the guys in it and keep them competitive, and also maybe utilize the bench a little bit. There's a guy that's been working really hard. You know, there might be an opportunity for him to get an at-bat, and hopefully he'll get a hit and get going.
Salk reached on the error from Trosky. Guerrero was unable to get it on the bounce. Two-hopper over to Trosky. Fields it up by his hip. Force out over at second. Makes up for the error. And it's neutralized.
Mom and Dad wasn't home. They were working, and we had our rusty old lunchbox and bologna. And
Guerrero back. Holcroft watches it go. Guerrero, his 3rd home run today. Had a 2-run home run in the 3rd, a 3-run home run in the 4th, and make it a solo shot to start off the 6th. He is having one heck of a day. 6 RBI now.
Just another pitch, elevated ambush. The Beavers don't miss bad pitches. I think that's home run number 5.
That is. I was about to tell you, you were spot on again, partner.
Yeah.
12-2 the lead now. Brembiz gave up his 2nd home run of the evening.
This is one prediction I hope I'm right on, because we don't need any more home runs.
No. Craig 0 for 3 today. 3 strikeouts, trying to avoid the golden sombrero. Foul ball, it's not going to help his case. Falls behind 0-2.
Yeah, I told you I watched BP, and what made that prediction is I watched that first group hit ball after ball deep into the trees, and some of them above the lights. So I knew there was going to be a little bit of power tonight, and then you add the wind and the momentum. I mean, right now those guys are in the dugout. Everybody's trying to get one now.
It's contagious. Pass it on to the next person.
And when you said that was his 3rd home run, I thought you made a mistake.
No, I know you gave me the biggest eyes. No way. Hooked foul just by a couple of feet by Craig. We'll go back to the 1-2 count. And you looked very concerned there.
Well, again, how often do you sit at a game and a guy gets 3 home runs? And I thought I heard you say he hit a solo, a 2-run, and a 3-run?
Yeah, so he's due for the grand slam next, right?
If he gets the grand slam, that's the cycle of home runs.
That would be incredible. The 1-2 through the legs of McCarthy. 2-2 count now to Craig. But you can see why this is one of the hottest teams
no doubt
in the country right now, ranked 2nd in the nation. Craig lays off of that one. After starting out 0-2, he's worked himself back to a full count.
Yeah, and the thing about it is you can't really on one game worry about who the pilots are going to be. You know, the big key is just don't lose your confidence, and you know they're going to have practice tomorrow, and then they're going to get on an airplane and probably go play somewhere else. A league game, right?
Yeah, they play at Santa Clara this weekend.
At Santa Clara, and they're not going to have a guy at the top of the order that's going to be a first-round pick. They're not going to have a guy in the second hole that's hitting right around the guy at the first hole, and they're not going to have a guy that hit 3 home runs tonight in that lineup. Now, no disrespect to that lineup, but it's just not the Oregon State Beavers, man.
Rembiz, first pitch to Macias, in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Now, Oregon State does such a nice job with their notes. I know it's in here. Last time somebody had 3 home runs in a game. Torch down the left field line, but goes into the bullpen of Portland. The 0-2 count. Still nobody out for Oregon State here. Top of the 6th. 12-2 lead. Ground ball hit over to Salk. This is a 2-ball opportunity. Pataxa with 1, and the relay throw in time. Double play. Works out for Portland. Nobody on now with 2 outs. 6-4-3 in your scorebook at home.
Yeah, really routine. Love how Pataxa turned that double play. Just made sure to get the first one, work across the bag, and throw it over.
Here it is, all the way on the back page. Had to flip through every single one to get there. Ball 1 to Turley. Last person to have 3 straight home runs. Actually, that's 3 straight games, I should say. Because that was Bazana, but it was against UCLA and Portland. High fly ball into center. Holcroft running in for it. Will make the catch, and that'll end the inning. But not before Mason Guerra hits his 3rd home run of the day. Time someone hit 3 home runs in a single game. It was April 2nd of 2021, and you mentioned it, it's Jacob Melton. 5 home runs in this game, all for the Beavers, as Riley McCarthy takes the first pitch fastball high. For the ball, it's 1-0. Responding back with a strike, 1-1. The 1-1 delivery. McCarthy swings at the low pitch, fouls it off to our right and out of play.
And Bazana's going to add himself to a leadoff home run with Brady Casper.
Yeah, you'd be right. Happened last February by Brady Casper.
And I was looking at the home runs. It says 2 straight, 3 straight, 4 straight, 5 straight. It didn't say in a game.
Those are just games in a row.
Adley Rutschman had a home run in 4 straight games. He's pretty special.
It's only captaining behind the dish for the Baltimore Orioles as McCarthy goes down on strikes. First out for Portland here in the 6th. Evan Scavato comes to the plate. Scavato is 0 for 0 today. Walked in the 2nd, got hit by a pitch in the 4th. Talked about Ricky Weeks and your history note on the day. Do you know what happened on this date? Back in 1995. Scavato takes ball 2.
95. I like the Mariners. I like the Indians then.
Gotta say, it's only loosely baseball related.
then I'm not going to know. No.
You should know this one. Everybody knows it. Scavato, hot shot back up the middle. Bazana can't field it behind the bag. And that's the second hit of the day for Portland. Scavato reaches with one out. This gentleman wore number 45 when he made his return to this team.
Oh, Michael Jordan.
There you go.
Michael
I'm
Jordan.
back facts.
I remember that.
Exactly. I knew you'd get there.
Played a little baseball, or tried to at least.
Tried to. Played for the Birmingham Barons. Never made it up to the big leagues. Jack Thompson now steps to the plate for Portland. Want to keep things going. You know, this WCC team won the national championship in basketball on this date in 1955. Thompson, first hit at the Ets. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. Scavato on his way to third. He's going to be held up, and that is a one-out double for Jack Thompson. Two runners now in scoring position. And that's the type of swing where you make solid contact. You hope you can turn that one hit into 2, 3, 4 down the road for Thompson. As Justin Ramirez, who took over for Christian Cooney in the field the last half inning, comes to the plate now.
Just try to win innings.
Ramirez is making his 9th appearance on the season. He's batting a .190, 4 hits and 21 at-bats. He's driven in 2 runs so far this season. Down third and off the glove of Hainline. Scavato will score from third, and that'll be it. Ramirez over to first. Thompson stayed put at second.
Yeah, pretty good play on a missile down the third base line. He keeps it in the infield, otherwise 2-run score. Now they've tied the inning, and now the big thing is for the Pilots and is to get a knock here and win the inning and continue to try to win innings. And like I said, we've seen this before. Big lead from a Pac-12 team, and then a little rope-a-dope, if you will, and just work your way back into the ball game.
Runners on first and second. Jake Holcroft fouls off the first pitch. Holcroft is 0 for 2 today. Strikeout looking in the first. Grounded out to Mason Guerra at first in the fourth. The only time he reached base was in the third, where he walked and later scored on a wild pitch. That was a good-looking pitch right there. Holcroft was expecting something else. Takes it in for a strike, 0-2.
And the only problem with the rope-a-dope thing, you still got to pitch to Bazana and Guerrera and all these other guys. It's going to be hard.
The 0-2 to Holcroft. Through the bottom of the zone. Drops out of the bottom of the zone, I should say. 1-2. One-two. Inside, Holcroft backs out of the way, 2-2. So no guesses on that last trivia, no? I can tell you who the main person is, but it's a walk in the park after that. This certain gentleman may have won double-digit NBA titles with the Boston Celtics. Holcroft goes down with a strikeout, his second of the day.
Are we talking the Bird? It's the only Boston.
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell.
Very good basketball player.
Bill Russell and the San Francisco Dons won the NCAA championship back in 1955 on this date.
That's here, March Madness. I'm excited.
It is. Brady Bean, breaking ball, first strike, starts him out 0-1.
Used to be pretty good at that, but I just keep picking the same teams from the 90s, and they're not winning. Michigan and Duke and Arizona.
Yeah, well, Arizona seems like they might have a chance. 0-2 now to Bean, with runners on first and second and 2 outs. I was just reading a story today about a gentleman back in 2019 who picked the first 49 games in a row correctly. The only game that he lost that ended that streak as Bean goes down on a strikeout as the overtime victory of Purdue over Tennessee. He had picked Tennessee. But the Pilots strand 2, 1 run comes into score. Javen Trotsky leads off the 7th inning as Ryan Rembiz back out for another inning of work. First pitch, curveball, first strike, 0-1. Trotsky today, 2 walks and a single. Both times he walked, he ended up scoring. And there he's got himself a base hit into left center field. Ramirez will get to it first, comes up throwing towards second, and that'll keep Trotsky at first. And a leadoff single for the Beavers here in the 7th.
Yeah, ball, a good pitch, ball was down. He just put a good swing on it and hit a single out there.
Wilson Weber, 0 for 2 today with a walk and a run scored. That walk and run scored came in the 4th. Otherwise, struck out looking in the 2nd. Flew out to center field his last time up in the 5th. Foul ball, turned on one in front of the dugout for Portland, 0-1.
Yeah, I did that bracket my whole life, and I have some, been doing the football bracket, college football, then do basketball, and have some ideas. I always take the top 4. I think one time in the last 25 years, one of the top 4s haven't made it on. I always take the underdog in the 8-9. I feel like that's done me well, and 9 seeds for me are duds. They just don't win, man. It seems like they don't win. So those are kind of things that I've always tried to do. So we'll see how my bracket goes this year.
Oh, my bracket has gone bust the last couple of years in the first weekend, unfortunately. Here's the 1-1. Rembiz looks over at first. He'll come home with it. Fouled off of McCarthy. He seems to be okay. 1-2 now to Weber. Well, if history has taught me anything, Purdue's destined for the national title this year. After dropping to a 16 seed last year, Virginia's the only other team to lose to a 16 seed and then went on to win the national title the following year. Check swing from Weber. They appealed down to first. He did not go.
And you have a little love for the Purdue Boilermakers.
I may have been to a few games growing up.
Family, that's your family college, right?
Oh, yeah, 3 generations.
You were Chippewa.
I was Chippewa. I went to Central Michigan. 2-2 from Rembiz. He'll throw over to first to keep an eye on the runner, Trotsky. A lot of good basketball over the years for Purdue, but unable to get over that hump. 2-2 from Rembiz. Beautiful breaking pitch right there to get the strikeout on Weber.
Third baseman, number 3, Elijah Hainline.
Elijah Hainline comes to the plate. 1 for 2 today. Ground out to third. And then he also had a single. So last time he was up, though, got hit by a pitch in the 5th, came around to score. Trotsky's going for second. McCarthy up throwing, and Trotsky's in there. Stolen base. First one of the season.
Yeah, just stealing off the left-hander first move. As soon as that foot gets off the ground, he's off to the races. And if he does pick over, it's a foot race.
Hainline takes a strike on the second pitch, 1-1. And the scariest hitter, or at least one of the scariest hitters, Mason Guerras. No slouch today, 3 home runs, but Travis Bazana is coming to the plate next. Hainline is the bottom of the order for the Beavers. And with the double play ball now out of opportunity for Portland, you're going to have to face Bazana in the top of this order again.
Now you could get a line drive to Pataxel for a 2-ball now.
You're right, you could. Likelihood, not high. The 1-2. Fouled off to our right. And we'll reset on the 1-2 count.
I will say this is a vital out. You want to get this 9 guy.
The 1-2, 1 out. Rembis keeping an eye on Trotsky. He'll come home with it. Breaking ball high and away. Evens the count at 2-2.
Well, and the problem is if you do get this out, there is a base open, so you can walk Bazzana, but then you got to face McDowell, and you could walk McDowell, but then you got to face Guerrera,
who has 3 home runs. And the last thing you want to do is load the bases for him. Scavato in right field makes the catch. Trotsky tags up from second, and that throw is not going to be in time. So another run 90 feet away from scoring for Oregon State as Hainline's retired, and Bazzana now steps up.
Now he's done just about everything tonight except for drag bunt for a base hit. And let me tell you, he might be one of the best in the country at doing it. I saw him do it in the West Coast League for a couple years. Now I'm not sure he's going to do that in a 12-3 game here midweek, but if you play too deep at third base, he'll be safe.
Thompson right now behind the bag and off the line. Rembis making sure he can't give Bazzana anything to swing at. That one was put in the right-handed batter's box, 1-0.
Of course, there's a buddy in the dugout that's flashing the 3 at him, so he's probably not thinking about bunting right now. He's trying to.
He wants that 3rd home run.
Yeah.
He's chasing Guerrera.
Yeah, yes, he is.
He already got the best of Rembis. First strike to Bazzana this time around, 1-1. Had a solo home run in the first, hit by a pitch in the third, still scored. RBI single in the fourth, scored in that inning as well. And then the 3-run home run in the fifth that made him the program record holder for most runs scored in a career. Strike 2 freezes up Bazzana, 1-2. 1-2, 2 outs. Missing the bottom of the zone, evens the count at 2-2. Bazzana with 5 RBI today, only trailing Guerrera with 6.
Now, I will tell you that I've witnessed 5 home runs in one game.
Really?
By a pretty good player. It was a Legion game back in the day, and the young man went to Prairie High School. His name was Taylor Ard, and he played all the way to AAA Marlins, and was a Mount Hood Saint. Hit 14 home runs his sophomore year at Mount Hood, and he hit 5 home runs in a game.
This ball goes to the backstop. There's going to be a play at the plate, and Rembis drops down. Trotsky's in a rundown. Bazzana moves up to first after being walked. And no, McCarthy didn't apply the tag. Trotsky scores. Oh no, they're saying.
But I will say this, if I'm the umpire, I'm going to look at him and say, I got him out. You're up 12-3. It's a midweek game. Let's just move on.
Zach Tolia, first batter here in the bottom of the 7th. Tolia today just 0 for 1, couple walks, 1 run scored. Lifts this one down the left field line. Into the corner. And that's a fair ball. Bounces off the wall away from the left fielder Macias, and Tolia will hold up at second. And a leadoff double for Portland to start off the 7th.
Yeah, I got a chance to see that ball actually went right off the base of the wall. Almost got out of here.
It's 325 down the line. It went about 324. And yeah, you're right. Came right down on the base of that wall and kicked out back into the field of play away from the left fielder Macias.
And Macias did a great job getting to it. Like when the ball was hit, I didn't think he was going to get to it. And he got right there.
Jonas Salk, one of the 5 hits as he gets hit by the pitch right there, and 2 aboard now for Portland.
And going back to what we talked about a couple innings ago, you're going to play a few more innings. Let's go process inning and try to win innings. So we got a couple guys on with no outs. And
that 0 spot in the 7th for Oregon State. That's the first time they were held without a run in an inning since the 2nd. Just take another look at that last hit by pitch. And barely nicked the jersey there, but that's enough. They get a free pass. Pataxel steps in now. Ground ball to the right side. Guerrera gloves it. One play at second and covering the bag. They got him. Double play. Runner moves over to third and Tolia. So it looked like Oregon State was in a bit of trouble. Runners on first and second with nobody out. A terrific play by the first baseman, Guerra, who was playing off the line. Started the double play. Now there's two gone. .363 as Guerra went to cover the bag again. Riley McCarthy steps to the plate, 0 for 3 today. Lines one to Bazana, and that'll end the inning for Portland. Started with McDowell just 1 for 4 with an RBI. Had an RBI ground out in the fourth, had a single back in the first, otherwise popped out, and 2 ground outs. Over to the shortstop, Jonas Salk. Only one defensive change in the game for Portland. That happened a couple innings ago as Justin Ramirez took over for Christian Cooney in left. Now 2-0 to McDowell. Here's a look at Ramirez, the transfer in from Arizona Christian. McDowell, one hopper past the second baseman Pataxel, and that's going to roll all the way to the wall in the right center field gap. McDowell's thinking 3. He rounds second. Pataxel throwing, and it's off the mark. Leadoff triple for Micah McDowell. That ball just kept going and going and going. No slowing down on the turf. Hot shot as we now have a pinch runner in for McDowell. It's going to be number 23, Cannon Reeder, sophomore from Bend, Oregon, went to Summit High School.
Now running at third base, number 23.
And you know who coaches down at Summit. Former major leaguer with the Milwaukee Brewers and the Seattle Mariners. Mason Guerra steps to the plate. Already 3 home runs on the day, 3 for 4. This one in the dirt, blocked by McCarthy, 1-0. One of the taller players in Major League history.
Pitcher.
No, not a pitcher.
Oh, Richie Sexton.
There you go.
Yeah. Prairie High School. From the same high school that I was talking about with Taylor Ard.
Yeah.
Played for Don Freeman, Hall of Fame high school coach over at Prairie High School.
Got to meet Don Freeman back in January.
He's over in Germany coaching baseball right now.
2-0. Guerra trying to hit his 4th home run of the day. Fouls that one off into the netting, 2-1. Guerra had a 2-run home run in the 3rd, 3-run home run in the 4th, and then a solo home run in the 6th. He's a couple batters away of possibly having the bases loaded for a chance for a grand slam last half inning, or I should say last inning for Oregon State. Now sits ahead in the 3-1 count.
Now I'm just going to say statistically, there's no way he's hitting the 4th one, so attack the strike zone. But I could be wrong.
You could eat your words right here, Corey. 3-1 from Rufo. Strike 2. Guerra thought it might be ball 4, but he steps back into the right-handed batter's box.
Yeah, and a fun fact, do you know who the head coach was at Summit before Richie Sexton? Also a Prairie High School guy. Also played in the big leagues.
Full count. That's a walk to Guerra.
He's tall and he is a pitcher. Mr. Alan Embry.
Alan Embry, okay. That's a name I don't think I would have gotten right away. Runners now on the corners for Oregon State. As we have a pinch hitter in for Jacob Craig.
Number 6, Easton Talt.
Easton Talt, sophomore from Everett, Washington. Fastball from Rufo off the far side of the plate from the left-handed bat, 1-0. Slider from Rufo in there for a strike. Tall, just a sophomore back when he was playing high school ball. Played all over the field, catcher, middle infielder, center fielder. High above the letters, makes it 2-1. As a senior, he hit .390 with 39 hits, driving in 29 and stealing 22 bases. Last season, though, for the Beefs, he played in 21 games, hitting $133 with 2 RBI. 2-1. Takes a strike at the knees. Makes the count 2-2. Still no outs here. Runners on the corners. 12-3 lead for Oregon State. Rufo gets the best of Talt with a strikeout. First out of this inning.
Left fielder, number 4,
Dallas Macias, the left fielder, now up at the plate. 1 for 4 today. Flew out to right field back in the first. Single and a stolen base in the third, but was left stranded at second. And that got him. So the bases are now loaded after the hit batter for Gavin Turley.
Right fielder, number 1, Gavin Turley.
Turley has been hitless today. Hard to believe for a team that has 12 hits on the day. Turley has grounded out once, popped out once, struck out in the 5th, and then he also flew out to center field to Jake Holcroft back in the 6th. And looking at my scorebook, outside of Talt, who just came in, he's the only Beaver to not reach base today. Slider near the top of the zone, this time for a strike, 1-1.
And a good one. That's the one thing about Rufo. He's got great hand speed with the fastball, and when he lands a slider, it's a good slider.
No call from the home plate umpire, 2-1.
He has nowhere to be tonight.
No, he does not. No rush to get out of here. 2-1 delivery. Check swing. They peel down to first. He did not go around. Ground ball up the middle. 1 run will score. Coming around from second, it's Guerra. And the cutoff throw taken in from Tolia, a 2 RBI single for Gavin Turley. First time he's reached base today. Apparently you heard me, took that personally, and made it on base. So tack on 2 more runs, it's 14-3. As Jabin Trotsky comes up for his 5th plate appearance. Reached base all 4 times. He's 2 for 2 today. 2 singles, 2 walks. Both times that he walked, he ended up scoring. Takes an inside fastball from Rufo, jumping out of the way, 1-0. You'd say the only downside for his day so far was he got caught trying to come home on what he thought was a wild pitch and then got into a rundown, was called out for being out of the base path. Slider from Rufo. He responds with a strike, 1-1. Off the end of the bat, down the first baseline, and fair ball. Tolia fields it, steps on the bag. The other 2 runners move up 90 feet. Macias is now over at third. Turley up at second after the 3 unassisted in your scorebook.
Some English on that ball.
Yeah, there was.
Kind of scary, get it off the end of the cap, and it could, just like the old Massey ball from last year.
You know, I think the funny part about that play is you still had people liking that tweet months after that game happened.
Yeah, it was an incredible play. It was an incredible play by the Pilots catcher.
Nick Klemp, yeah.
Nick Klemp. And it was an incredible call by you because both of you stayed with the ball. There was 15 feet foul and then spun fair, recorded it out. It was, it should have been on SportsCenter. It was one of the coolest plays I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, one of the more unique plays. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. Weber steps in 0 for 3 today with a walk and a run scored. Start out 1-0 against Rufo. Thought about it. And it works out in his favor, 2-0. So he left the bat on his shoulder. It's getting chilly here on the Bluff. We started out around 68 degrees today. It's a slider just missing low and inside.
Yeah, I turned the heat on about 3 innings ago.
Yeah, I'm going to have to bump that thing up right now. It's now 59 degrees. Fastball on the black of the plate inside, 3-1. Good response by Rufo after falling behind 3-0. Back-to-back strikes to make it a full count. Check swing, and they punch him out. That'll end the inning. 2-run score thanks to a 2 RBI single by Gavin Turley. Pushes the lead 14-3. Trying to get something going for the Pilots late in this ball game here at the bottom of the 8th.
And I'll tell you right now, if the only thing the Pilots get out of tonight is get Scavato going, it would be good because Scavato could really hit last year and he started slow. He's got a knock tonight. A two knock night could boost some confidence and help the Pilots down there on their conference.
He may only have 1 hit, but he's reached base 3 times tonight. The 1-0. Breaking ball falls in for strike, 1-1. Scavato walked in the second, hit by a pitch in the fourth. Both times he got left stranded at second. Then he had a single in the 6th, came around to score thanks to the RBI single from Justin Ramirez. Ferguson leaves that one high, 2-1 on Scavato. Scavato puts this in the right field, and that is going to drop in front of Turley. He's got his 2nd hit of the game. 4th time he's reached base, and the leadoff man is aboard for Portland.
Good piece of hitting here. Got a ball in the outer half. Just didn't do too much with it. Just hit it where it came from. 2 knocks on the night. Been on base all night. Big time confidence builder, and it could really help the Pilots when they head down to Santa Clara this weekend.
Yeah, conference play just around the corner now.
And this young man got his first hit here at home last time. And again, they need him to go to have success.
It's a 1-out double that put runners at 2nd and 3rd. High into the night sky, into shallow center field. Bazana dropping back. McDowell coming in, and it drops in between McDowell and Bazana. Scavato safely moves up to 2nd.
Hey,
it's not the most impressive single, but a single's a single. You'll take it.
Yeah, and we know that it's hard once it gets above the lights late here. It happened last year at Oregon when we played Oregon, or when the Pilots played Oregon, and just a little miscommunication. 100% center fielder's got to come get that baseball.
That's what I was going to ask.
Center fielder's king there, but it's a little hard when you got a guy like Bazana that just chases everything down.
Justin Ramirez up to the plate for the 2nd time today. He went down the 3rd baseline for a single that went off of the glove of Hainline that drove in Scavato last time. He'll take a first pitch strike from Ferguson, 0-1. Six hits now for Portland since the 6th inning. They had 1 hit leading up to that point. Ramirez jammed inside, able to fight it off for a foul ball, 0-2. 0-2 on Ramirez. Ferguson from the first base side of the rubber looks at Scavato. Home. And Ramirez, his second knock. Scavato rounds third. Coming up throwing is Macias. The throw beats Scavato, and the tag is applied. He's thrown out at the plate. Great assist from Dallas Macias on a rope to home that beats Scavato by a couple of steps, or a step, I should say. Tried to go around the tag, but unable to do so.
Ball was just hit probably a little too hard. And a great catch and throw.
So Holcroft steps in now. He's looking for his first hit of the day. 0 for 3 with a walk, a couple strikeouts and a ground out. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Slider, first pitch, catches the outside part of the plate. 0-1. Now 1-1. Thompson with the lead off at second. 1-1 to Holcroft in the right-handed batter's box. Puts him ahead 2-1. Holcroft puts a deep drive into center field. Running back on its horse is McDowell, and he makes the leaping catch at the wall. Thompson went home, and he'll be doubled up at second, and that will end the Pilots' half of the bottom of the 8th inning. A spectacular catch by Rufo back on the mound for Portland to close out this game. First pitch above the zone for a ball to be 1-0. Do have a correction after this next pitch. Rufo missing low. It's now 2-0. It was not Micah McDowell. Correction. It was Cannon Reeder who had pinch run for him that made the terrific play out in center field. And the catch and throw back in. And Bazzana doubled up Thompson. Check swing on Peterson. He went around. That went for a strike. 2-1.
Great catch, Mr. Reeder.
Yeah, terrific catch. Cannot disagree with that. Peterson swings and misses 2-2. I forgot to write down in my book that he was pinch run for after his triple that he had. And that's on me. Full count. Swing, it actually goes off of Peterson. It's in front of the plate. Quick throw from McCarthy. They still get the out.
Nice athletic play by McCarthy there. And I think the Pilots Nation would say you're about as professional as they get. You don't miss that very often.
Well, thanks for trying to make me feel better.
Now, if it was me, they would have been, oh, Corey, he screws it up all the time. But Brian, you're as good as it gets, man. They're lucky to have you here on the Bluff.
Bazzana going to be pinch hit for Levi Jones, the freshman from Portland, Oregon, from Jesuit High School. Strike, it'll be 0-1. Jones making his 5th appearance on the season, only 5 at-bats, hitting 200, has the 1 hit. This one goes down the line. This one could drop, and it will drop into the corner. Ramirez chases it. And into second with a stand-up double. It's Jones. Something about that #1 spot in the order right now, reaching base every single time.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Brandon Forrester takes over.
Cannon Reader.
Forrester stands at second after the breaking ball from Rufo. It's a strike to Reader. Reader drives one into right field. Scavato angles back to his right, makes the catch over his head, comes up throwing towards third. And the runner tagging up and making it in there safely, it's Forrester. So a runner now over at third with 2 outs as Mason Guerra steps up to the plate.
You remember that movie Major League when the Wild Thing was pitching against the New York Yankee guy? This is like the New York. Here he comes. I don't remember that guy's name, but he didn't have a lot of success against him.
Well, Guerra is 3 for 4 today, 4 runs scored, 6 RBI.
3 home runs.
And 3 home runs with a walk. First pitch strike from Rufo, 0-1. Rufo going to step off, reset. Big opening on the right side of the infield. Guerra check swing. Oh, 0-2. Guerra chases one in the dirt, bounces away from McCarthy. He's halfway up the third baseline, but he can't make a clean play. Guerra reaches on the drop third strike. So runners on the corners with 2 outs. And it's Easton Tolt stepping into the batter's box again, taking over the designated hitter position from Jacob Craig, who went 0 for 3 today.
Number 6, Easton Tolt.
Tolt, his only at-bat, ended in a strikeout in the 8th inning. McCarthy out in front of home plate, signals to the infield. No call from the home plate umpire, makes it 1-0. Salk looks to cover the bag at second. Well struck ball into right field, but Scavato makes the catch on the run. Bruce got jammed inside, slow hopper over to short, and it's thrown over there in time by Trotsky. 1 away for Portland. That's sort of a difficult position to be in. You sit on the bench the entire game, come into the 9th, asked to try to get a base hit and take a swing at the first pitch that you see.
One of the hardest things to do.
And that's why we dubbed Gabe Score the professional hitter, and his ability to come off the bench and pinch hit moments and deliver a big hit.
And he did it. He did it for a couple years where he would get pulled off the bench, in a game, and a lot of times it's raining and cold, and he'd get a big knock. That's how you kind of find a hitter. Sometimes, this year we had a guy that was our older kid was starting first base, and one of the younger guys was on the bench behind him.
Tristan Gomez rips a rope into right center field. That is going to drop. One hopper off the wall. And Gomez has himself a 1-out double. Coming off arguably one of his best games as a Portland Pilot. against the Maryland Terrapins on Saturday, in which he went 3 for 4, 3 RBI, and 2 runs scored against the Terrapins. And here he has a double and a pinch hit opportunity.
Yeah, great swing. Again, I was talking about a player of mine that, you know, he come off the bench in a pressure situation, got a big knock, and then the next game I brought him in against the right-hander when they switched out from the left-hander, and he got a big knock, and then we put him in the lineup, and he really just keeps hitting. So sometimes you find those guys on the bench, they've been working really hard, they just need a chance, they come into a game, get a big knock.
And nothing will build your trust up more with the coach than delivering in the big moments. As Jace Miller gets his first hacks of the day. The 0-1 delivery. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Yeah, I think DH is a tough position because you spend a lot of time in the dugout, but I guarantee you one of the hardest things in the world is to be in the dugout as a pinch hitter. You know, they warmed up about 7 hours ago. He's been sitting in the dugout, probably didn't think he was going to get his name called, and then he get his name called, you know.
Miller got fooled, but still able to put the barrel on the ball, pops it up on the infield, and Trotsky will make the catch over his left shoulder. 2 away now for Portland. Pataxa was the man that's supposed to be on deck, but judging off the last little bit.
Comes another O'Day, I believe.
Nope, that's a Sukata.
That is a Sukata. And this young man did exactly what we were talking about last year.
Yeah, hit the double down the line. Scored the game-tying run. Now he comes up to the plate with 2 outs and a runner on second. First pitch popped up out of play behind home plate. And that lands on top of our building. 0-1. Sukata only 1 hit in 8 at-bats this year as he makes his 6th appearance on the season. Does have 1 RBI to his name, though. Oh-2 now to Sukata. Pilots down to their final strike. And that's it. That'll do it. Strikeout of Sukata strands the runner over at second. Pilots dropped this one 14-3. And the Beavers came in mashing early and often. And Corey, your thoughts on tonight's
Introduction music. Yeah, let's talk about success, but hold on tight, cause it ain't always sunshine, it ain't all bright. There's a price to pay for reaching the top. It's a journey of sacrifice, it's a road that don't stop. From the early mornings to the late night grind, every moment counts, every step of the climb. In the pursuit of dreams, we push through the pain, but sometimes the cost is more than we gain. The price of success, it ain't always clear. It's the blood, sweat, and tears, it's the endless fear of failure looming close, the dreams turn to dust. The price of success, it's a heavy trust. In the glitz and glamour, the spotlight shines, but behind the scenes, there's a different sign. of sleepless nights and broken hearts, of sacrifices made, of tearing apart, friends left behind, and your family neglected. In the pursuit of greatness, we're often affected by the loneliness of the climb, by the weight of the crown. But still we press on, cause success is reneged. Price of success, it ain't always clear. It's the blood, sweat and tears. It's the endless fear of failure. Looming closer, dreams turn to dust. The price of success, it's a heavy trust. The price of success, in that we trust. So as we chase our dreams and reach for the stars, let's not forget who we are and what's truly ours. For success is a journey, but so is the cost. And in the end, it's not what we gain, but what we've lost. The price of success, it's a bitter pill, but for those who dare to chase it, they always will. For in the pursuit of greatness, we find our worth, but let's never forget the price of our birth. Introduction music, who we are, who we are, and what's truly ours. For success is a journey, but so is the cost. And in the end, it's not what we gain, but what we plug. The price of success, it's a bitter pill, but for those who dare to chase it, they always will. For in the pursuit of greatness, we find our worth, but let's never forget the price of our birth.